Before I just read this question out to you, I've just read it myself personally, and it actually warmed my heart to think that this is my work. That I wake up nice and early. It's 5:30 right now, and I can give advice to a young guy or not even to a young guy. He's 25 years old, but he's been in the same situation that I have, which is that he wants to leave his job for online income, and he only needs to make like $500 or $1,000 a month to change his life forever. So if you're in this situation where you're working full time, or maybe you're in school, and if you were making 1K a month online, it would change your life, then I really want to help you in this video here. So we've got a question from Dejan, and it's titled Being Stagnant for 7 Years. Dear Hamza, I need help with the fact that for the past 7 years I've been trying to become an entrepreneur to get out of the 9 to 5. I'm 25 now and I have a job. I've been learning all about freelancing skills, nothing really stuck. Having been learning about different business models, kept jumping from one to another. I joined on a school last month and it didn't in December. Hopefully this would change everything, and it did. It changed my limiting beliefs, it helps me with productivity tactics, but I'm still feeling kind of stuck. I've realized my flow state and what I love to do. It's researching, learning, questioning, seeking the truth about topics that I'm interested in. It changes sometimes every week when I get a new topic of interest. Sometimes it's after a month or two. I research everything there is about it or until I'm satisfied and I get to the next idea. My mind is always racing, always thinking about everything. I'm never bored. I always want to do something. I'm at the happiest when I get that dopamine hit, knowing I have discovered something or realized that aha moments. I really love doing that. I love and need to write, as that's how I get my mind to calm a little and settle down. I also love speaking about it to someone. I have started a YouTube channel, but I was also thinking of starting a newsletter as well, kind of like Danco. My question is, how do I monetize this? I need like $500 a month to quit my job, 1K to be safe that I can quit my job. I'm not a materialistic person at all. I'm just looking for that freedom from 9 to 5, and I don't know how I can do it if the topic changes every few weeks, sometimes even more frequently. I'm kind of stuck, and I don't want to look 1 year later and be switching from one thing to another because I'm tired of that, man. I'm actually very excited to give you this advice because you're on a fantastic path. You've already been looking into entrepreneurship for years. You've already been learning and being productive, which is fucking awesome. All we need to do is just put this inside of a business model and you're ready to go. So if there's other guys like this, where basically you've been learning online, you've been researching things, whatever you're currently interested in, you don't realize how fucking advanced you are. Because think about where we started. All we did was spend our time on fucking social media, porn, and video games. When you're genuinely researching with interest, you can do this business model, which is called synthesizing. Basically, like the TLDR, like the short version of this is basically like, yeah, be a YouTuber. But let me just explain it to you. Synthesizing is when you go and just follow your natural curiosity of whatever your brain is interested in. And then you just kind of explain that in your own way in the form of content online. So basically, step 1 is like, feel what you're currently curious about. Step 2, go and learn about that thing. Step 3, use that thing in your own life somehow. So for example, if I go and learn about, I'm really interested in health, and then I go and learn about tap water being poisonous for us, which it fucking is, by the way. Tap water is like literally like at least slightly basically poisonous for us. Then I'll go and like actually act on that, and I'll go and start to figure out, wait, how do I stop this from from destroying my health? Like I drink tap water all the time. Okay, there's a water distiller, I could try that. Oh, it's quite expensive. Should I buy one? Which one would people buy? I go and solve the problem for myself so that eventually I have a water distiller. Like I'm in an Airbnb right now and I have like a brand new water distiller like literally right next to me right now, because it's something that I've researched and I've bought. Then I set it up, then I feel better, then my health feels better, my testosterone goes up, weird like chemically shit stops like messing up my body. I've gotten the progress, the results of researching this, then I synthesize it and I explain it so much faster because now I can cross the gap for the next person who wants to learn this. So that is the business model in itself, is basically that you will go and research things that you're interested in, that you're curious about, try and implement those things in your life, whether you succeed or fail. Then you come onto some form of content, like basically any social media website, and you talk about what you did, you tell the story, and you give advice to anyone who's one step behind you. And this is how you accumulate a social media following of people who will actually want to listen to you. And then you'll release some kind of paid product after that. So that's like the general theme. I want to give you a quick disclaimer or a quick, like, you know, something personal about me, which I get annoyed at. I make videos, like not all the time, but I make videos fairly often talking about which business to get into. And I always say the same thing: build an audience, sell them something. I always say the same thing. I'll see like a kid complain and say like, oh, Hamza's business advice is all the same. That's all he ever says because that's all he knows. They don't understand that, like, this is how business works, right? Let me give you a business lesson because no one's probably explained this to you. You need a way to get customers. Do you know how many ways there are to get customers? Because there's only a few. You can pay for ads online. So you can go to YouTube or you can go to Google or Facebook and pay that website, like that company, $50 a day, $100 a day, and then they'll show your like potential people, maybe a few hundred people a day, your little advert, and maybe those people will click on your page. This is how most people have made money online. People don't make this clear, but for most of like the internet history, most people have made money by paying for ads. If you can afford to spend $100 at least per day and not afraid to lose that, go ahead and pay for ads. But apart from that, the way that you're then going to get like potential customers for any kind of online product that you make is from your own audience of people who like you. The only other way is basically if you put your own services on some other random website and hope to get lucky, like basically being a slave. Like, okay, you put your services on like fucking Fiverr.com or YouTube Jobs and hope that some dickhead like buys your service and he treats you like shit and he pays you like $5 for 3 hours of YouTube editing work or something. It's not a good way to live. Freelancers don't have a good life. Yeah, the top tier freelancers who work with the biggest fucking YouTubers, yeah, sure, they're paid well. I pay my guys well, yeah, sure. But if you're not going to be like a beginner who gets in with a big freelancer, you're going to be a beginner who gets in with basically a guy who's going to treat you like a slave. And so I really think freelancing is over. I don't think freelancing is like a good business model. I think it's awesome that if you've already got a skill, you're like a video editor, you can join in and it's fun and you're making $10, $20 an hour. That's kind of nice. And it's better than having a job. But you should always be looking to like scale this up into like a real business. Freelancing is just like level 1. It's like a beginner's thing, which, you know, it works when you're just trying to make $10 an hour, $20 an hour. But past that, it gets very hard to make more. Again, of course, some video editors make a lot of money, but they're working for big motherfuckers that you couldn't work for if you're quite new to this. They've been video editing for like 7 years. Like my video editor is amazing and I only pay him $30 per hour of his time, but he's absolutely amazing. So if there's some kid who messages me saying, oh, I'll do it for $5, it's like, I'm not even going to read the message. So the best way to make money right now is to go and build an audience who just follow your same curiosity and your same interest. Synthesizing is, I promise you, the greatest business model that like mankind has ever seen. I mark my fucking words when I say this. Synthesizing is the greatest business model mankind has ever seen. You're telling me that we can follow our own genuine curiosity, we can just go and learn, then passionately speak about what we've just learned, and people will fucking pay us. Imagine how sick that is, that previously people had to like go and like work in some shit business models like waste management that they didn't give a fuck about, that they weren't passionate about. They had to go and put in time and then think, okay, well, I've got the money now, I can go be materialistic. And we know what happens. Like once you've made the money, it doesn't feel that great. You don't even do that much good things with it, especially when you've made money in a way that you didn't even enjoy. And that's how business has been for most of all this time. It's like basically business has always been this sad, like boring thing for mankind, or you were just lucky enough to join like a startup, which was quite refreshing. Basically you and a few brothers joined and worked in the same house, and then you ended up making some app or some phone like iPhone or some shit, or you made like some website like Facebook, and then that went viral. But the amount of people who do that is very low. Most business has always been like basically a replacement surrogate job, where like some guy, where instead of him being hired by the plumbing company in his city, he'll go make his own plumbing company, but then he's just head plumber and he's just got now more than a full-time job. He wanted to escape the 9 to 5. Now he works fucking 5 to 9 instead, 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. instead. Most business has been terrible up until the last few years when the synthesizing model has come out, and that is absolutely insane. You can literally just go and enjoy your life, learn about things that you want to learn, improve your life, and then just talk about it online, and people will start to pay you. Think about how crazy that is. Think about how much if you know my story, how much I have changed in just 3 years is insane. And the reason why is because improving myself has become my full-time job. Think about that. Like, my business is literally just improving myself and then just talking about it online. Think about what a blessed opportunity that is. It is absolutely amazing. My days are literally, I wake up, I work for like 2-3 hours, and then I spend the rest of my time just reading and like discussing things with my girl, with my friends, with my family. It's like I literally live like the dream life as a synthesizer. It blows my mind that more people aren't rushing to become one, because it is genuinely the single greatest business model out there. We teach synthesizing inside of Adonis School. The first 2 courses that we have right here. This is Make Money Online through coaching. As a coach, you'll be a synthesizer. This is the YouTube course, which you'll synthesize what you've learned on YouTube. And then this course right here, Dijon, that you've got access to. This is like when you really want to take like YouTube more seriously and keep synthesizing and now turn it into a movement. You've got the access to those courses inside of Adonis School. For anyone else who's not in Adonis School but wants help with this, let me just explain how synthesizing will work then. Firstly, you have to follow your authentic passion. Don't try and force yourself to follow whatever niche that you see some other guy in. So I make videos on self-improvement because I genuinely like care about it. Like, it's super interesting to me. Other guys make videos on money. I don't often do that because once you reach like a certain level of intelligence and a certain level in your own spiritual journey, you realize how little money matters. That's a separate point that you won't understand for a few years. So I only make them on actual personal development, and I'm interested in it myself. So the step 1 is to go and discover your passions and curiosity, which Dijon, you've done. Other young men, you have not, because you've still been consuming too much content and you've been diluting your brain. To find your own authentic curiosity, you need to stop doing all this bullshit consuming, and you need to just sit around and go live normal life away from your fucking computer screen. And that's how you'll start to like figure out things. So the gym is awesome for this, because the gym is the only time that most young men actually step away from a device and go and do something in real life. If you can add a couple more habits like that, like martial arts, hiking, whatever, soon you'll start to get the real authentic thoughts of what your brain wants you to start to learn about. Go and learn about those things. Go and make some progress in those areas. Go and become knowledgeable in the topics that your brain wants you to. And then it's the business part is then just teaching or just explaining what you've recently learned. So let's say you suddenly, like, your brain produces this thought that you're interested in how sunlight improves health, because it just occurs to you that cavemen would have been getting sunlight like 24, like all the time, and we don't get it because we're inside all day. Then you start to research about it. You watch a Dr. Huberman podcast on YouTube. You read some books about it, and you realize how important sunlight is. Then you start getting more sunlight yourself, and you notice that your testosterone symptoms seem to be going up. You notice that you feel better. Then you sit down, press record on the camera, or start writing a tweet and explaining the 7 benefits of sunlight. And you explain exactly what you did, and you tell your story. So you say, I never used to get sunlight because I just worked inside all the time, and I thought that being sat next to my glass like window was fine. It turns out it's not. Glass actually stops the sun's rays from being able to really improve your health. And so recently I've been stepping out for just 10 minutes first thing in the morning and getting sun directly on my skin. And here's the symptoms. Before this, if I'm honest, my erection, like my dick, wasn't actually getting that hard. Now it's really hard, like I'm a teenager again. Like, it feels awesome. And I've noticed that like my voice is deeper as well. I've noticed that I just feel healthier and happier, which is so awesome. I got a blood test and my testosterone's come back. You like explain your story and how it's positively benefited you, and you explain how to basically get the same progress that you got, but just faster, because you had to realize things. So for example, with this water distiller that I've got, water distiller is kind of like this thing that you set up, that you put tap water inside, and it makes the tap water safe to drink, because tap water is literally not safe to drink. I had to research like which product to get and everything. I had to research it, read it from different books, see it from different YouTube videos. Now I could make a video on like how tap water is unhealthy for you, and I could distill it all in like 5 minutes, even though it took me weeks to learn everything. And imagine I'm telling you like, oh yeah, don't buy that product because I bought that kind of one and it didn't work. You need to buy this one which says this thing. Other guys who've got the same interest as me will find that interesting, and because I've given them a lot of value, they'll then want to basically subscribe to my social media content, and they'll trust me more because their life will improve because of me. So this is like, that's step 3. You followed your curiosity, followed your curiosity, improved your life, posted content about it, now you're accumulating an audience. Then what we need to do is create a product to sell to this audience. So then what you can do is create either a coaching package. Coaching is where you'll get paid for hopping on a video call with someone and they'll ask you questions and you'll basically like help them to get to the progress that you've done. So imagine if you've done a bunch of learning about how to optimize muscle mass, like building muscle, and you've realized that some of the things that people don't do is having an intro protein drink. So basically inside of the workout, you realize that having a protein shake would actually maximize gains. So you started doing that. Then some guy says like, oh, can you help me with this? I want to maximize gains too. He pays you $300 and you go on to like a video call with him every week and you teach him things like, oh yeah, so go and have that protein shake, right? Send me pictures of you. And then through the month you're texting him and saying to him, remember the protein shake? You didn't remember it yesterday, so here's your reminder, haha. Like you holding him accountable. And then imagine having 10 clients like that all paying you $300 a month, and you're making $3,000 a month from basically just like texting like friends to like maximize protein and maximize like muscle mass basically. So it can be a fun role. That's setting up your coaching. If you want to do that, then this course here inside of Adonis School, Make Money Online, this is a course on how to set up your coaching package, step by step, how to get up all the links, the sales call, everything, the funnel, how to get people to book the calls with you, everything. You've got access to that. For anyone else who's not inside of Adonis School, basically just set up a funnel where you're going to talk about whatever you've learned recently, and inside of the link of the description of your video or Twitter or whatever, have a link where someone can book a call with you, a free call where you just hop on and discuss what your coaching package is and ask them if they want to buy it. And if they do buy it, then you can use Stripe to send them a payment link. Basically, I've explained all of this in lots of detail in this like 2-hour course that I made for Adonis School. That's people booking in for a coaching package, and that's one way you can make money from the synthesizer model. Another way that you can make money is by making your own courses. So a YouTube video is kind of like a clickbaity shit piece of content these days. It's all over the place. It's not really that thought out. People do it to get views. People do it to get like high retention like Mr. Beast and everything. But a course is made specifically to get someone a certain dream result. So let's say you've been really interested in testosterone over a few years, and you already know like the 10 things that really improve someone's testosterone levels. What you could do is make a testosterone optimization course where you record a bunch of videos and you walk people through a step-by-step like list of action steps, and you explain to them why they need to do these action steps to maximize testosterone. So you'll go onto like the website and you'll show them, okay, buy this water filter, buy this supplement, go outside and get sunlight on your skin for 15 minutes every day, do this. Here's a Notion, like here's a habit tracker checklist that you can download right now, and you can check off all these habits and make sure you do this. Here's like some affirmations. I don't know if these actually work, but it's worth it. Just listen to this audio that I've recorded of me saying I have high testosterone for 3 minutes every morning. You're making this whole package which is supposed to help this guy get what he wants, which is higher testosterone. Then you package that together, the list of videos, you host it on a website where you can host like a course. So there's websites like Teachable, Kajabi, ClickFunnels, School, which I'm on, does it as well, but School's more of like a community thing, which is that's kind of like a separate business model. And then you just have the link ready of that to sell, and then you put that in your content and you say, and by the way, I've got a full course on improving your testosterone. You buy this and you'll get all of the testosterone symptoms that you've wanted, and then you sell that. So this is a very short example of what you need to do, but I just wanted to explain that the rough process. You're already doing amazing because you're researching things. All you need to do now is just synthesize these. You need to just explain these in pieces of content on YouTube videos, on Twitter, whatever you prefer, and then just help other guys to basically learn the same things that you have. And particularly if it's anything to do with self-improvement or fitness or dating, particularly go out and actually experience the things yourself so that you form your own stories. Of course, if it's with something like history, it's a bit harder because you can't go out and experience it yourself, but you can still like distill it in your own words as well. So once you've done that, you've set up your own funnel, and then you just need to like just keep growing your social media content. And then that just like, you just go back to step one, which is just go find your own curiosity, learn about it, and then keep teaching it online. You mentioned, I don't know how I can do this if the topic I do changes every 3 weeks. Well, if you look at every YouTuber, if you look at me, for example, the topic changes all the time. Like, it falls under the umbrella of like self-improvement. But when you really think about it, look at the different topics. It's like fixing your life at before 10 a.m. So basically morning routine. TikTok girl purposely makes men relapse. Social problems that I can't relate to anyone my age. Porn addiction. Making money from boxing. You can see that all of my videos actually are quite general. Like, I post very general videos, and even my most popular videos, there's a video on building an aesthetic body that can attract girls. There's a video that men are like worse off than women in society. There's another fitness video. Then there's a video on winning a fucking street fight, then fixing your life, then a morning routine, and then dating, then not ending up like Sneeko, like another YouTuber. So you can see my topic of interest changes all the time as well. So don't be afraid to think like, oh, you know, whatever I talk about, it's going to change all the time. Don't be afraid of that. That's absolutely fine, because what you don't want is a YouTube channel where you only talk about the exact same thing over and over, because those like niche YouTube channels aren't really popping these days. Like, no one really watches, like no one commits to a channel who only talks about building a six-pack, like, you know, the six-pack 15-minute abs or some bullshit. Those channels are all dying off because people commit to basically a certain person and that person's interests. People don't actually follow me for self-improvement. They follow me for my interest, because if I randomly made a video on a new kind of interest, a lot of my followers would probably have that if they haven't already discovered it. They know that if I'm interested in something, they'll probably be interested in it too. You don't follow me just for like fitness videos. You follow me because of Hamza's interests. That's what we want to get for you, is like, you just go and follow your own interests and just post about your own interests with no inhibitions. Don't try and think, oh, should I post this niche, or what if the topic changes? Post about all the topics. Even if it's fucking history, then fitness, post about it, because there'll be other people who are into history and fitness at the same time, and then they're gonna love you. And then when you say that you've got a fitness course, they're gonna buy from you because they actually relate to you. Synthesizing is the greatest business model out there, and we teach it. Like, that's the main business model that I teach inside of Adonis School, where I teach, okay, start as a YouTuber as like the way of building the audience, and then start as selling them like a coaching package or a course. And in one more thing for Dijon and for anyone else who's watching this, literally today, maybe the date will change by the time you look at this, but I do 3 calls a week inside of Adonis School. And today I'm doing like a YouTube tactics coaching call, where I'm literally going to coach like a student on how to improve his YouTube and his coaching package and anything else that he's like monetizing with, which is absolutely perfect for this. Then on Saturdays, I also do a business strategies, which is for all kinds of businessmen, all kinds of entrepreneurs. This works for all business models, where if you want to be an entrepreneur, this will help you, whatever it is. So Adonis School is an amazing place to be, because this is what I'm teaching. Like, synthesizing is the greatest business model out there for all kinds of people. It's absurd, in my opinion, that young men pursue any kind of business model other than synthesizing. Like, I know that like Andrew Tate's program teaches copywriting and shit, and Iman Gaji's program teaches agency. Those programs can be very good, but those models are just simply not. If you want to be a slave who's in my DMs right now, like, you want to be that fucking little like kid who's messaging me 3 times on Instagram saying, hey, you know, do you want me to help you scale up your bullshit? Basically, like, if you want your job, your daily like grind to be to message 100 people hoping that one of them replies with anything other than fuck off, like that's what most other business models are right now. When you don't grow your own audience, there's only 3 ways to get an audience, to get customers. Grow your own audience through social media, which is what I teach. Cold outreach, which is basically slave away and message 100 people per day hoping one of them replies, which is such like slave work. Or 3, paid ads, where you need to spend at least $50 to $100 a day and hope that basically play like the slot machine of like gambling your money away, hoping that it shows you to the right kind of people who want to buy your product. You can make success in any of them. There's people who make a lot of money with cold outreach. There's people who make a lot of money with ads, but by far the greatest way of attracting potential customers, by far, not even close, is building an audience. You know why? Because that's what the other guys, that's what like the big guys are doing as well. When men like Andrew Tate teach you in his program copywriting, He's never been a copywriter. He's building an audience. When Iman Gaji talks about cold outreach for growing your agency, he doesn't do cold outreach. He's building an audience. Every man that you look up to right now, every single one of them, they're building an audience. They're not out there messaging 100 random guys per day. They're all of them building an audience, and all of them, especially on YouTube. Andrew Tate would have been a YouTuber if he didn't get banned. Now he's just on Rumble, but he would have been on YouTube. All of them on YouTube. That's what we're teaching inside of Adonis School. It's the second link in the description. Go click it right now.